Setting up the Singapore branch of Global Clinic helped treat facial deformity of Filipino children. In Taiwan, the Tzu Chi Foundation holds an exhibition featuring artwork by care recipients of all ages. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. With the aim of healing the world one community at a time, a group of medical personnel from the Singapore branch of Global Clinic regularly visits far-flung communities in Asia and Africa to conduct free medical examinations and perform minor surgeries to underprivileged patients. Teaming up with Tzu Chi, they recently arrived in the Philippines to provide free surgical operations for 11 children with cleft lip and palates in Malaysia.
Rosalie Menahan could not hide her anxiety as her 4-year-old daughter Riza is receiving anesthesia and being prepared for surgery.
My daughter won't be teased by her classmates anymore. Thank you all. We are so indebted to you for your help because we simply didn't have the money for surgery.
With the cleft lip and palate surgery a success, Rosalie's mind is finally at ease.
I am truly grateful that I met the Tzu Chi Foundation, the doctors who made my daughter beautiful once again.
The Singapore branch of Global Clinic regularly visits Asia and Africa to conduct free oral and facial reconstruction surgeries for underprivileged patients. On their recent visit to the Philippines, they teamed up with Tzu Chi and helped treat 11 children with cleft lip and palates.
It's pretty similar. We all want to help. We're all volunteering. And people who do this sort of work all just wants to do volunteering, to use their skills to help.
With their expertise and love, these doctors have served countless underprivileged people across the world. They say being able to give these children a chance to have a better life as they grow up is their greatest reward.
In Taiwan, as Tzu Chi volunteers have been conducting home visitations in Kaohsiung, they have found that many of the affected families are currently unable to pay for their children's tuition due to the lingering economic effects of the gas explosions. To help, on August 23rd, Tzu Chi volunteers will start handing out scholarship subsidies to make sure students can continue their education. Let's take a look at 2 recent home visitations.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for coming to our rescue during our time of difficulty.
Emotions overcome Ms. Tsai as she tries to express her gratitude. Surviving the Kaohsiung gas explosions, Ms. Tsai is now worried about the enormous college tuition bill in her hand.
I originally thought maybe I could try and come up with the money, but I didn't know how expensive it would be.
Accepted into a private university, her son's tuition fee is more than $1,800, which comes on top of her daughter's high school tuition fee of $300. Even under enormous financial pressure, Ms. Tsai, however, only accepts what she needs.
My son's tuition is heavier, and it's difficult to come up with such a large amount in such a short amount of time. After that's been paid, his living expenses will be easier to cover. My daughter's tuition is smaller. I think her subsidy can be best given to others who are more in need.
As Tzu Chi volunteers continue their home visitations, they hope to offer a shoulder to cry on or to lend a hand where needed, as no education should be delayed. Meanwhile, the Wu family's business is also facing financial difficulties following the recent underground gas explosions.
2. We can't just let them go because of what happened, however.
With no income coming in and having to pay their staff, the family's savings have been slowly dwindling. Seeing the bills pile up, the son, Wu Minghong, wondered if he should drop out of school.
Our master says children must go to school. They must continue their education. You're very sweet, and your parents' hard work is all for you and your sister.
Knowing his parents face a heavy financial burden, the young man thought it was best to drop out of school and find a job to help make ends meet.
I thought I could just leave, but in my heart, I wanted to go to school. Now with Tzu Chi's help, it feels like I can return to the path that I originally wanted to walk.
I am very grateful for all the volunteers' assistance. They are really working harder than us.
Tzu Chi will continue to help solve problems. Education must not be delayed. If a student can do well in school, then that's the greatest reward for his or her parents.
No longer worried about tuition fees, Ming Hong and other families can rest easy, knowing Tzu Chi is by their side. In the days to come, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to bring hope like this to all those in need. After Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers have been preparing prefabricated housings for survivors. Despite the hot summer, more than 100 volunteers gathered in Sansha, New Taipei City to contribute.
反正尽量自己有吃东西，把营养补好一点就好了。会不会吐啊？不会啊。不会嘛？好。
Lying on the bed, Tzu Chi volunteer Jiang Shugen has been combating his colorectal cancer for 2 years. Although going through 36 chemotherapies, Jiang still demonstrates a strong desire to help. Whenever he feels better, Jiang always reports to Sansha to participate in a prefab housing construction effort for typhoon victims in the Philippines. Jiang said that he wants to use every minute to the fullest.
I come to give when I can, as I will go back to have chemotherapy tomorrow. I try to seize the now when my body allows.
Jiang's dedication to the volunteer efforts has received the full support of his family.
Since we don't know when the cancer will take him, we try to accompany him as much as we can to help others.
Although our individual effort is insignificant, when combined, it can turn into a great force of will.
The mother and a daughter were also there to help.
We are helping those in need in the Philippines and building homes for them.
They're able to come help and create blessings during their summer vacation.
The master said that we should not wait in carrying out good deeds. We should contribute when we have the chance. This is truly necessary.
We're cleaning gloves used by the other volunteers to assemble prefab housing. I'm here with my mother.
The Tzu Chi volunteers' construction efforts make them a beautiful force in New Taipei City.
Recently in Taiwan, the Tzu Chi Foundation held an art exhibition at the Tzu Chi Taichung chapter where paintings drawn by care recipients were on display. One of the artists was a 16-year-old tracheotomy patient. But first, we take a look at how a 99-year-old care recipient has let her imagination run wild.
Drawings filled with bright colors and animals. Who's the artist behind these pictures? 99-year-old Grandma Light is the magic hands behind them. Despite her old age, Grandma Light has been living by herself for many years. To look after the senior, Tzu Chi volunteers have been visiting her on a monthly basis.
Before, she didn't have any color pens, so she drew with red or blue pens. I'm very surprised by her drawings because she draws with such detail. Although she's old, she still has good vision.
Through home visitations, Tzu Chi volunteers discovered the seniors' passion for drawing. The volunteers thus gifted Grandma Lai with color pens and drawing paper. As the senior has few to talk to on a daily basis, drawing has become her spiritual sustenance.
She's determined and doesn't want to rely on others.
By letting her imagination run wild, Grandma Light has discovered a way to stay young at heart.
He's an active kid, but when he likes something, he will focus all his attention on it.
When Hu was in his second grade, an accident left him with a tracheotomy. Thankfully, after years of treatments, he can finally live a more normal life.
He is physically disabled, but he never gives up. There are a lot of things that we need to learn from him.
As Hu is unable to take part in sports, drawing has become his outlet. When Hu's uncle was in critical condition, blood from an umbilical cord saved his life. Upon learning of the news, Hu decided to dedicate this drawing to him.
This is for my uncle. We want to spread our love to those around us.
Despite coming from a single-parent family, Mrs. Hu's positive mindset has inspired her children to think positively.
Whenever we visit the family, he will show us his drawings. His artwork is very beautiful.
Hu likes to shave his head, and he even draws himself as Xuanzang, a character in the novel Journey to the West. In his pictures, he has also drawn the injury to his neck to tell the world loud and clear that he accepts the imperfections of his body as his heart is whole.
In our continuing series to understand the petrochemical industry of Taiwan, today we learn more about the dangers hidden beneath the ground we walk on. As it turns out, the government has an idea on the fuel and natural gas pipelines that wraps around the country, but has no idea just how many petrochemical pipelines are out there and their whereabouts. Worse, there are no sensors that monitor these pipelines, which transports extremely flammable substances.
The Kaohsiung gas explosions unveiled the risks of underground pipelines.
Just how many petrochemical pipelines are beneath the feet of Kaohsiung citizens? At this bridge on Fengren Road, all the pipes have surfaced and they come in all sizes.
A complex arrangement of different pipelines vanishes out of sight and mind once they go underground. The pipe that leaked propylene in the recent explosions traveled underneath 720,000 people's homes.
These flammable chemicals are a threat to the safety of the city as a whole. In fact, this is a very serious problem hidden out of sight.
The pipe in question is among the three most dangerous types. Petrochemical pipes transport raw materials such as ethylene and propylene. Fuel pipelines transport gasoline and crude oil, and natural gas pipes transport methane, all of which are extremely flammable when they come into contact with oxygen in the air. The culprit of the Kaohsiung explosions, propylene, will ignite by the smallest spark when its concentration level in the air reaches 2%. According to the data compiled by the Ministry of the Interior, the fuel pipelines in Taiwan are over 4,000 kilometers in length and go around the island 3.5 times, while the natural gas pipelines total 35,000 kilometers in length. However, neither the government nor the industry has an exact fix on the petrochemical pipelines in question.
Just what do these pipes transport? Where can we find their schematics? Till this day, we still don't have an answer.
Without access to proper data and adequate disaster prevention measures, the result is the disastrous consequence of the recent tragedy. Unfortunately, this is but the tip of the iceberg.
We had no idea that the pipes were buried within the city. Now that we know, we are so terrified that we can't sleep at night.
Citizens do have a reason to be afraid. The Chinese Petroleum Corporation produces 1.5 megatons of propylene annually, which is 140,000 times the amount of the volume that caused the recent disaster. In the last 8 years, 13 new pipelines were added to the city, furthering putting citizens' lives at risk.
Perhaps these pipes only had a lifespan of maybe 30 or even 20 years, but they have already been used longer than that. It's like a disaster waiting to happen.
Can something still be done to prevent more explosions?
We want to first obtain all the schematics of all the pipelines. We want to know where they are and what do they transport. We will put all this information into a database.
In the future, sensors will be installed to monitor the flow rate and the pressure of each pipe. An early warning system will then be established and made available to the public.
When the pipeline are installed, the central and local governments need to work together. They have to make sure everything is adhering to the established regulation.
However, accidents may still happen despite proper management and upgraded protocols. Thus, the sure way to minimize death and injury is to relocate the pipelines away from densely populated areas. Only by making sure that safety does indeed come first will the petrochemical industry continue to thrive in Taiwan.
In Thailand, Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Chunling started going meatless as a way to continue to fulfill her filial duties to her mother who passed away. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteer Sun Ping Na had a hard time convincing her husband to adopt a vegetarian diet until she came up with an idea.
Tzu Chi's first precept is no killing. As a Tzu Chi commissioner, Sun Ping Na has set out to influence others. The sun has yet to rise and Sun is already busy in the kitchen. Before, she would prepare meat dishes as alms for Dharma masters. Now it's only vegetarian dishes.
I share with my friends the idea of going meatless. I'd ask them maybe only during Buddhist holidays, once a week, once a month, or even once a year would be fine.
When Sun first started being a vegetarian, she and her husband did not see eye to eye on her new diet. However, not holding back, she let him experience what it feels like to be burned alive. Thus, her husband vowed to keep a vegetarian diet for 3 months.
She suddenly grabbed my hand and put it over the hot stove and said to me, "Look, when you cook a shrimp, it hurts them and they suffer. It's only your hand that's hurting, but imagine the shrimp. It's their entire body. Feel how much pain they would be in."
For Lin Chunling, keeping a vegetarian diet was a way to continue fulfilling her filial duties.
After my mother passed away, I started reading books on Buddhism, and then that's when I understood. We have no right to consume meat from another living thing.
Head of the kitchen at the local Jing's Books and Cafe, Lin helps to prepare vegetarian dishes. This year, Lin also volunteered to prepare breakfast for those watching Master Zhenyan's morning Dharma lectures, giving those who seek to gain wisdom fuel to sustain their efforts in the day ahead.
Born with genu recurvatum, which loosely translates as backward bending knee, Chen Tuanzhi of Xiamen, China, has previously received 5 corrective surgeries at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan in hopes of being able to walk normally. On the morning of August 19th, she underwent a 6th operation to improve the movement of her right knee joint.
The honorary superintendent of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, Dr. Chen Yinghe, conducts final verification before performing the 6th corrective surgery for Chen Tuanzhi from Xiamen, China, who suffers from genu recurvatum.
As she underwent rehabilitation, her joints have shifted, so the original 130 degrees correction we made is no longer enough. We need to adjust her right knee this time.
Born with her knees bending backward, the young girl is receiving 30 degrees correction surgery on her right knee this time, which makes a total correction of 160 degrees.
This should help her stand better. She will have more strength, and when walking, the knee joint will move better.
At the request of Dr. Chen, the orthopedics department has customized a steel plate that will help stabilize the patient's bones.
As her right leg is thinner, the bones there are smaller, so we have to be extra careful during surgery. We quickly made adjustments to the plate to fit her needs.
After nearly 3 hours, the surgery ended successfully. When Chen Tuanzhi has recovered, she will then undergo physical rehabilitation once more so she may walk better.
According to a research conducted by the Ministry of Interior in Taiwan, more than 13,000 people in the country were diagnosed with autism in 2013. Knowing the cost of autism-related healthcare and education is costly, a group of parents with autistic kids established the Little Shell Workshop. At the workshop, children learned to make soap, which not only boosts their confidence but also gives them the chance to be more independent.
Wrapping a handmade soap with extra attentiveness is 28-year-old Xiao Wen. For nearly 8 years, Xiao Wen has been working at the Little Shell workshop. Knowing that each bar of soap is a sign of their independence, everyone here tries their best to complete each task.
你在这边做什么样的工作？
包膜、绑腰带、擦膜。 还有折纸盒，
你觉得跟大家一起工作啊，开不开心？
开心。
如果他们没有到我们这边来
If these children didn't come here, they'll be taken to nursing homes. Many families don't have the means to pay for nursing home care.
收费的。
According to the Ministry of Interior in Taiwan, the number of people diagnosed with autism has increased by nearly 1,000 people per year. Autism is currently the fastest growing developmental disability in the country. With the help of parents, these autistic children are no longer a burden on their families and have also discovered their self-worth in the process.
天生我材必有用。
I believe everyone is born with a purpose. When they come here, they not only can learn from one another, but also boost their confidence.
Constantly striving for improvement, this group of children hopes the public can put aside stereotypes and embrace their differences.
To help encourage students to go meatless, teachers of the Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Malaysia enacted the Vegetarian Passport program. During the month of the program, the staff organized events to strengthen the students' concept of vegetarianism.
Every Wednesday afternoon, the students from Tzu Chi Kindergarten gather for story time. This month, the stories reflect the Vegetarian Passport campaign, as teachers have picked I Am Vegetarian as today's story. After story time, the children let their imagination go wild and create their own unique stories. Some children are determined to protect the animals, for the animals' lives are as important as theirs.
你还要继续吃素吗？
要。
为什么呢？
我要保护螃蟹和鲨鱼，全部动物都有生命的，我要保护它。
Using different methods to inspire compassion, students of the Tzu Chi Kindergarten are keeping to a vegetarian diet to protect and respect all life on Earth.
The Xu Yafen Taiwanese opera troupe will perform their adaptation of Follow the Buddha's bequeathed teachings at the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds for the 4 days following August 21st. Before the event takes place, volunteers from northern Taipei districts gather to clean up the venue. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.